Hi, I'm Nicole Mattiello with Certified Credit, and we're here with the Talk Data to Me podcast live at MBA. Today we have with us Jim Park of TMC, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Emerging Tech Fund. And Jim, I'm so glad to have you here. Would you like to introduce yourself a little for our listeners?
Sure, I'm happy to do that. Nicole, thanks for having me on the program. My name is Jim Park. I'm the executive chairman of the Mortgage Collaborative. It's an organization we started about 9 years ago now. The idea was to bring the lending industry together, small, mid-sized lenders, to help them work together, share ideas, bring in some of the best-in-class providers, vendors and tech providers in the marketplace. And so we have a lovely ecosystem of family, people that support each other and work together.
Yes, and you know what? I love that you said that because everyone does refer to TMC as a family, and it feels that way. It's a very tight-knit group. You enjoy hanging out with each other. You learn a lot. Yeah. I think the collaboration at TMC is the best I've ever seen at a conference. It's really
I appreciate that, and we tried very hard to create that kind of environment. Sometimes you can hope that happens, but it takes the people in it, the lender community, the vendor community, or we call preferred partners. I think have worked together in such a nice way. We try to create an environment where people aren't like doing heavy sell. Everyone's just kind of getting to know each other first, trying to be more supportive with education and support. And that kind of leads to business, we hope, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's that sense of collaboration and camaraderie that absolutely comes with that group. So
yeah, well, thank you. By the way, thank you for being a part of our program in Chicago a few weeks ago.
Oh, we love it.
And yeah, and we'll be doing it again in San Diego next year.
Wait.
So
yeah, we're already looking forward to it for sure. So one of the things we want to talk to you about is the Emerging Tech Fund. And I know I sat in recently on one of the sessions around it and kind of the new things that you guys are doing. Yeah. And I think it's super interesting and a lot of people would love to hear about it. So what can you tell us about the Emerging Tech Fund?
Well, a lot of our members, obviously, as lender community, is a big consumer of mortgage technology, obviously, out there. What we found over the years is that the technology firms are built by a lot of smart people, a lot of great individuals with terrific ideas. Some of them have a background in mortgage, some of them don't. And what we have realized and seen as a consumer of that technology is that we can actually lend a hand in terms of the development of those technology. We can partner as a partner to demonstrate the effectiveness of that, maybe even tweak the technology a little bit. But we also, as you know, within TMC, we have almost 300 lender members.
Right.
We can help to scale that business. The big challenge within the technology field and the venture capital field is that you're building, you're spending a lot of money, but you're trying to get to a point where you're scaling it and actually making it a revenue positive thing.
Okay.
So we're able to help that process along much faster than if someone was out there doing it on their own.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I know you guys have had a couple of pretty big successes so far, I would say. There are companies that I've heard, that kind of came and grew out of this. Are there any that you'd like to say that, particularly have done well?
Yeah, I mean, there are several we have invested in so far. The challenge with the technology or venture capital fund is that everything, the value of anything is really on paper until there's an exit to it. So unless you go public or that company gets sold, but there's every step of the way, every time you do a Series A, Series B, and you keep moving up, you do a valuation of that particular business. And obviously people like, big players like Maxwell is one of the investments we've had.
Right.
We've had investments into companies like Clever, which is a real estate referral network. And so we have spent a decent amount of time kind of looking at everyone in the marketplace, and we continue to do so currently. But, in terms of the exit strategy, we have not had that yet.
Yeah.
That'll probably come down a few years down the road.
Yeah, down the road. But no, that's great. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, if I think we're going to see you guys tonight, if I'm not mistaken, at the TMC party.
Yeah.
That'll be excellent to see some of the team members there.
Yeah, no, we got several of our team members with us now. I think on the technology, going back to the technology side, listen, I mean, the business is a labor-intensive, staffing-intensive business. And And people have, over the boom, right, over the last number of years, people had staffed up in a big way. But I think people also realize you have to leverage technology to create a basic infrastructure so that you don't have to always balloon up and then you have to let people go. And that's the challenging part of this business, right?
Which especially now, we're going through that cycle again.
People have gone through, like, a lot of our members have gone through several rounds of layoffs, whether it's, people call it right sizing and all that, but I think it's just layoff. People are losing their jobs, and you don't want to put people in that spot if you don't need to. And so to the extent that you can take care of a lot of that through technology, and more innovative stuff's coming down the pike, so that you don't have to increase your staffing and then let people go when the market turns on you. So, I mean, that's one of the benefits of technology to some extent, from a lower cost to execute the business, but also you take some of the human piece out of the mix, which is, laying people off it really is a terrible thing, right? And but this allows people to do it in a much more methodical way.
Yes, absolutely. No, I think that's important.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to tell us about the TMC Tech Fund and stop by and see us on Talk Data.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nicole. And I appreciate being part of the program. And thank you for being one of the preferred partners. You guys have been terrific.
Oh, thank you. We love the TMC network. So, so happy to be a part of the family.
Okay.
All right.
Terrific.
Thanks.
Thank you.